Todd Tucker is a lame. Oh, what fun it is to eat some RRG snacks today. Hey!
Auntie Regina, are you okay? You slurring your words a little bit. Did you sneak into my eggnog again?
I mean, yeah. 'Tis the season, ain't it? And first of all, the eggnog belongs to everybody. It is community property. I may have put a little whiskey in there, but that's what it needed. It needed a little something extra.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need you to put the cup down and get yourself together, girl. The besties are here, and they've been waiting for this year's messy marathon.
They'll be all right. They are true to this. They not new to this.
But before we dive deep into this tomfoolery, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. When couples part ways after a long period together, it's rarely a clean break. Psychologists, such as the inside jokes, shared ambitions, and the sense of safety that comes with familiarity. For public figures like Ashanti and Nelly, returning to each other now doesn't just mean rekindling romance, it means revisiting a younger, more hopeful version of themselves. Psychologically, this can be risky, because old patterns rarely disappear just because time has passed. Unless both partners have done the work to understand why things fell apart in the first place, they're prone to unconsciously recreate the same dynamics. Now let's take a trip back to October 2017. While in Washington on tour with Florida Georgia Line, Nelly was taken into custody after a 22-year-old college student named Monique Green accused him of taking advantage of her in his tour bus while it was parked in a Walmart parking lot. The woman said that after the alleged act was committed, Nelly pushed her off the bus and threw $100 at her in the parking lot. Who claimed the rapper groped them and acted inappropriately toward them in 2016 and 2017. Nelly and Monique settled their lawsuit in September 2018. While the terms were made confidential, Nelly's lawyer told TMZ that no money was exchanged as part of the case's dismissal. Authorities halted an investigation into the case of one of the English women who accused Nelly of assaulting her due to her failure to testify. Now, Nelly's past behavior tells a revealing story about his psyche and raises serious questions about whether Ashanti should feel secure in this relationship. When you look at the multiple accusations of sexual misconduct, the admitted infidelity with a stranger on a tour bus, and his consistent deflection of responsibility, a clear pattern emerges. Even if some allegations were never proven in court, it's the repetition that is concerning. The fact that Nelly was in a long-term relationship with Chantel while all of this unfolded makes it more unsettling. Rather than working to repair the trust he violated, he ended the relationship without any visible sign that he had done the difficult work of confronting his behavior. Psychologically, this pattern of avoidance can reflect an avoided attachment style, where intimacy feels threatening and withdrawing becomes the path of least resistance when conflict arises. And we're not even going to get into his past arrests related to substance use or the other long-standing rumors that have surrounded him for years. If you're interested in all those details, you can watch the previous video linked in the description box. Nelly put Chantel out of her misery by ending their 7-year relationship in the summer of 2021. In September of that same year, Fat Joe invited Ashanti to perform some of their hits during his versus battle against Ja Rule. One thing Fat Joe forgot to do was to let Ashanti know that he had invited Nelly to the battle as well. Toward the end of the online event, Nelly almost broke a hip trying to get over to Ashanti. She later told the Angie Martinez show that it was the first time she had seen or spoken to Nelly in almost 6 years, making for a very awkward moment for her. At the time, Ashanti wasn't interested in getting back with him. She told Angie Martinez that she was in a new relationship with someone else and was very happy. 2022 rolled around, and on February 8th of that year, Nelly accidentally uploaded an intimate video of himself getting some sloppy toppy to his Instagram story. He quickly deleted the footage and said in a statement to TMZ, "I sincerely apologize to the young lady and her family. This is unwanted publicity for her, them. This was an old video that was private and never meant to go public." 6 days later, which was Valentine's Day, Nelly and Ashanti linked up in Las Vegas for their first official date. While some might see this as a romantic gesture, others would argue it was an unsettling pivot from public scandal to rekindled love. Psychologically, this jump from the intimate video being posted to him meeting Ashanti for their first date suggests a man who either compartmentalizes his life so effectively that he doesn't connect consequences to his actions, or someone who uses big romantic gestures to distract from his missteps. This is sometimes referred to as crisis bonding. When a person feels exposed or humiliated, they may instinctively pull someone close to reassert control over their public image and soothe their own anxiety. For Ashanti, stepping back into his orbit at this particular moment is equally complex. There's a possibility she felt compelled to appear unbothered by his messiness to signal that she was above petty judgments and fully committed to starting over. But it also raises an unsettling question. Why would anyone choose to begin a reconciliation in the immediate aftermath of such a humiliating controversy? From there, they performed at several events, and in May 2023, a source confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that they had officially reunited after nearly a decade apart. Another insider told People magazine that the couple was taking things slow, even though just a year earlier, Ashanti had shared that she felt ready to settle down and start a family. Ashanti got pregnant, and they secretly tied the knot in December 2023. Nelly told the Bootleg Kev podcast that he decided it was time for them to get married because he didn't want Ashanti to be a baby mama. He added, "Because we already knew where we were in life. If we're back like this must be what it's supposed to be." On the surface, this could sound practical or even protective, but psychologically, it reveals deeper concerns about the quality of their bond. Secure attachment in adult relationships is marked by expressions of affection and emotional responsiveness. When a person describes a significant commitment without referencing love, security, or closeness, it can indicate avoidant attachment, where individuals are uncomfortable with deep vulnerability and prefer to frame decisions in detached terms. Nelly's reasoning was almost entirely about optics, since he wanted to ensure that Ashanti wasn't viewed as a baby mama. When individuals make choices to avoid shame, like worrying about what others think of a partner having a child out of wedlock, those choices are inherently defensive rather than wholehearted. This doesn't mean Nelly doesn't care about Ashanti. However, the absence of emotional language such as love, respect, or joy raises concerns about whether the relationship was rebuilt on a strong foundation. Marriage should not be a strategy to manage perceptions. It should be a choice rooted in mutual devotion and clarity. Otherwise, it risks becoming a transaction rather than a partnership, one in which both parties may later feel unseen and unfulfilled. So, Nelly said he married Ashanti because he didn't want her to be a baby mama. However, decades ago, he had no issues about fathering 2 children with his then-girlfriend. His daughter Chanel and son Cornell were both born long before he ever considered putting a ring on anyone's finger. So what changed? Why is marriage suddenly a badge of honor he wanted to bestow on Ashanti when he didn't feel compelled to offer the same to the mother of his first children? From a psychological perspective, this is where you see how much a person's narrative about themselves evolves as they age and as their circumstances shift. Today, Nelly is a 50-year-old man whose reputation has taken several hits. It's possible that marrying Ashanti wasn't just about protecting her image, it was about rehabilitating his own. It also hints at selective principles. Ashanti is a global celebrity with a polished reputation, so marrying her shields both of them from judgment in ways that his past relationships never required. She gave birth to their son, Kareem Kincaid Haynes, on July 18, 2024. And then in May 2025, Peacock announced the couple would be starring in a reality show called Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together.
Stop!
Yo, our new show is coming out soon. Our new show is coming out soon. It ain't as raw as this.
Put your phone down.
No,
Hang up.
I'm not hanging up
Hang
shit.
up.
On the surface, a couple signing up for a reality show may seem like an innocent and even fun decision. However, if you scratch beneath the surface, more complex psychological and relational dynamics are usually at play, especially for public figures with extensive histories. According to psychologists, publicizing your relationship can be an unconscious attempt to solidify or prove its legitimacy to the outside world. In other words, if people see it, it must be real. This is sometimes called performative intimacy, where the couple's bond becomes a kind of performance they hope will convince themselves as much as their audience. So while fans might see the reality show as proof they finally found their forever, psychologists would caution that public exposure is as likely to fracture a relationship as it is to strengthen it. And that makes the choice to televise your love story less about confidence and more about a need for reassurance. As soon as the show premiered in June 2025, the cracks in their marriage were more than obvious. The show documented Nelly grappling with the decision of whether to perform at Donald Trump's 2025 inauguration. Viewers quickly noticed that his deliberation seemed focused almost entirely on his own ambitions and the chance to be part of a historic event, rather than considering how his wife felt about it. Meanwhile, it was clear that Ashanti and her mother disagreed with the idea. Still, Ashanti appeared to be putting on the face of a supportive wife, even as her body language suggested hesitation.
They asked Big Head to perform for the inauguration.
This is very emotional for me. My dad was heavy into civil rights. He marched on Washington.
You ain't talking about divorcing me or no shit like that. Cause I'm doing it.
You doing
I
it?
talked to you 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm doing it.
Psychologically, this kind of dynamic can quietly damage a relationship. When significant decisions are treated as individual pursuits rather than shared choices, it reinforces emotional distance. Over time, partners may start to feel unheard, unseen, or like their values don't carry equal weight. This pattern, where one person prioritizes their goals while the other suppresses their discomfort to keep the peace, often breeds quiet resentment. And when that resentment goes unspoken, it rarely stays buried for long. In another episode, Nelly openly shared that he planned to be a hands-off parent until their son was old enough to communicate his basic needs.
I said, baby, I give you the world. I just ain't changing no diapers.
Oh my God. It's just the baby. It's a lot.
Well, listen, it's all you. I ain't gonna even lie. You know, I ain't got nothing for him.
Absolutely not, I know.
Until he can say, I'm hungry, until he can say, I need to use the bathroom, it's gonna be a lot in your lap. But as soon as he started walking, I told him, I said, enjoy. Because as soon as he get to walking and talking, he with the crew.
Some might argue that at 50 years old, Nelly is simply exhausted by the demands of caring for an infant, especially since his older children are already adults. But to many, his attitude came across as dismissive and insensitive. By framing the newborn phase as entirely Ashanti's burden, he effectively distanced himself from one of the most critical periods of bonding in a child's development, and no amount of money or hired help can change that. Psychologically, this dynamic is damaging on multiple fronts. For Ashanti, taking care of nearly all the early caregiving responsibilities can create feelings of isolation and resentment. New mothers already face enormous pressure to do everything right, and when their partner steps back, it reinforces the idea that the work of raising a child is hers alone. This can erode a sense of partnership and leave her unsupported during a vulnerable time. For the baby, consistent nurturing and interaction with both parents are critical. According to developmental psychologists, early bonding lays the foundation for a secure attachment, which in turn affects a child's emotional regulation and sense of safety. When a father consciously delays involvement, it risks weakening that early connection. At first glance, Ashanti and Nellie's story feels like a fairy tale, but love alone doesn't erase the patterns we carry or the unfinished business we bury. Reunions often feel like closure, but more often they are a chance to relive old dynamics under the illusion of a fresh start. If there's any lesson to be drawn from this, it's that love is not just about finding the person who feels familiar. It's about daring to confront the parts of yourself that feel safest in dysfunction. It's about asking whether you are together because you've truly done the work to become different people or because it's easier to pretend the past never happened. For Ashanti and Nellie, the years ahead will demand more than chemistry and shared history. They will require accountability, honesty, and a willingness to sit in the discomfort that comes with building something real. Because in the end, love is not proven by how loudly you announce it to the world. It's proven by whether you can meet each other in the quiet, unglamorous places where genuine connection is built. And if that work isn't done, all the nostalgia in the world won't be enough to keep this story from unraveling all over again. Dionne and Karrueche reportedly met in November 2024 when she appeared on the Tubi talk show he co-hosts with Roxy Diaz. They started following each other on Instagram, and then in February 2025, they were spotted holding hands at a restaurant during Super Bowl weekend. If you follow the Sanders' social media accounts, you probably spotted her in the background of some of their footage, most notably at Dionne's NFL draft party, casually blending into the primetime chaos. If our math is correct, they've been involved with each other for about 8 months as of this video. They probably have a good sense of what makes each other tick. They likely enjoy each other's company, and maybe, on occasion, they have some fire action in the bedroom.
That sounds fun as hell. But no, they ain't. Ain't no way in hell Dionne putting it down like that. Ain't no way. Hell no.
So what makes this pairing such a with the elephant in the room, also known as emotional equity? Karrueche's desire to become a mother is fresh, full of wonder and milestones she's never experienced. You know, baby showers, first steps, late night feedings, and all of that. She deserves a partner who's entering that season with her, equally wide-eyed and full of that first-time excitement. Not someone who's already done the Super Bowl of parenting and is now in his halftime commentary phase. Dionne's been through it, including diaper duty, parent-teacher conferences, high school drama, and college tuition. He's likely viewing another baby as a cute bonus round, not as a legacy-building first chapter. So naturally, there's an imbalance there, even if he claims to be open to more kids. Then there's something called psychological detachment. When someone has already raised a whole roster of kids, they might not attach to the experience in the same way again. It's not that they don't care, it's just that they've already cared enough. That can lead to a dynamic where Karrueche is emotionally invested in every little moment, while Dionne is low-key watching from the luxury suite of fatherhood, sipping on wisdom and telling himself, "This too shall pass." The awe and urgency won't be mutual, and that matters in this thing called life. Also, let's talk about life alignment. Karrueche is 37 as of this video. She's in amazing shape. She seems to make enough money to keep a roof over her head, and as she approaches her 40s, she'll be stepping into her most confident, self-aware chapter. She's finally ready to anchor down, but choosing someone who has already docked his yacht could be a terrible mistake. Choosing Dionne means entering into a blended family situation with full-grown adult children who still need his love, attention, and possibly his financial support.
Yeah, 'cause all them kids ain't gonna make no Dionne type of money. I'm just keeping it a buck. All right, just being honest.
So where will that leave Karrueche?
Baby, Karrueche is the nurse. Okay, plain and simple. That's what Karrueche is. All right, get the candy striper uniform together right now.
Now, as for Dion, he's a man who thrives off legacy. His desire to raise a child might be more about wanting a fresh chapter or one last ego-boosting moment. There's a risk that this child becomes a project, a symbol, or a continuation of his personal mythology, rather than the deeply rooted, soul-nourishing family beginning Karrueche might be yearning for. Bottom line, when one partner's dreaming of a first dance and the other is mentally already at the after party, someone's going to feel unseen. Kids need full-throttle emotional investment, not a split focus between legacy maintenance and new parenthood. After enduring the roller coaster of being humiliated by Chris Brown, she moved on with retired NFL player Victor Cruz, who was soft-spoken and low-key. Their relationship actually made sense. Although Victor had a child from a previous relationship, he and Karrueche seemed equally yoked. Meanwhile, Dion is the opposite of subtle. He's flashy, loud, a bit cocky, and he loves to be the center of attention. He talks in sound bites and sometimes refers to himself in the third person. He's a walking brand, and prime time never clocks out. To date someone like Dion means you don't get a peaceful relationship, you get drafted into his narrative. You become part of the Dion show, and that show runs 24/7.
Child, I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Throughout his history, Dion has consistently chosen women who could be woven into that story without disruption. His ex-wives, Caroline and Pilar, didn't have super prominent identities when they were married to him. Their role was to support the brand, not compete with it. That dynamic works when one partner is comfortable dimming their light to let the other shine. His ex-fiancée, Tracy Edmonds, was a bit different. She had her own established career and her own wealth. She wasn't auditioning to be a sidekick in the Dion cinematic universe. She was already starring in her own, and despite dating for years and years and years, they never made it down the aisle, and we're not surprised. It doesn't appear that Dion wants a true partner. He wants a quiet cheerleader, a caretaker, and someone who moves at his pace with his script. So does Karrueche fit the mold? Kind of. Sure. She's an Emmy-winning actress with real talent and undeniable beauty, but she also sells pictures of her feet on OnlyFans. Which raises the question, is she really building her own empire, or is she low-key open to being sponsored? And we haven't even touched the real soap opera twist in all of this. Back in 2021, Karrueche actually starred in Games People Play, a project produced by none other than Tracy, who was engaged to Dion at the time. Tracy even posted a photo of the two of them hugged up, gushing in the caption about what an incredible star Karrueche was.
Whew. So, Karrueche done backdoored her old boss. Shame, shame, shame. Baby, what in the Portia from the Real Housewives is going on here?
Now, back to Karrueche and Dion. Maybe the idea of playing a supporting role in Primetime's saga isn't off the table after all. I mean, if the perks include luxury cars, private jets, and a fully funded soft life, shoot, I consider it too.
Me too, bestie. Me too, girl.
Dion has been battling serious health issues. In 2021, he underwent multiple surgeries that resulted in the amputation of 2 toes. He's been open about his pain, hospitalizations, and the toll it's taken on him mentally and physically. And then in July 2025, he announced he was diagnosed with bladder cancer and was given an artificial bladder. He spoke about wearing adult diapers and being unable to control his bladder at night. Now, y'all are gonna hate us, but this has to be said. Dion's age isn't the problem, because in the grand scheme of things, 57 isn't old. There are plenty of 57-year-olds who are living fun and fulfilling lives without any mental or physical health issues. But as for Dion, well, he's not exactly the picture of youthful health. He is a middle-aged man with real medical challenges, stress from coaching, a packed schedule, and a robust family dynamic. Does that mean he's unworthy of love? Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with standing by someone through health issues, but when a relationship starts with that as a backdrop, then what's in it for Karrueche?
He changing the baby diapers and Dion diapers. Yeah, I said it. She's gonna have 2 changing tables right next to each other.
Sometimes love isn't about how someone makes you feel in the moment. It's more so about how they fit into the story you're still writing. Karrueche has walked through the fire, rebuilt her self-worth, and carved out a name for herself that doesn't need a spotlight borrowed from someone else. She's not the same girl who tolerated chaos for crumbs. She's a woman with a future worth protecting. And if she's not careful, she might find herself shrinking again to make room for someone who's already lived out his prime. Now, the question isn't whether she can handle him, it's whether he deserves a seat in the next chapter of her life. Now, you know we love to take a trip down memory lane, so let's rewind to 2014. Russell had just filed for divorce from Ashton Meem after 2 years of marriage. And Ciara was having a pretty rocky year herself. She ended her relationship with the rapper Future and focused on being a single mother to her son, Future.
Wait a minute, she named that little boy Future. She should have named him Past. She should have named him X. You know, something like that, not Future. Fix it, Black Jesus.
She told Red Table Talk, I'd have moments when I would be in the shower, I'd be crying. I had a few different settings, crying in the bedroom, crying in the shower, crying because I'm not in the happiest place, and it hurts when I'm going through. She also wanted to find Mr. Right. God answered her prayers when he brought Russell into her life, and it was easy for the professional football player to fall in love with her because she turned out to be everything he had wanted. They decided to abstain from knocking boots, and it was all Russell's idea.
Oh, really? You don't say.
He told Pastor Miles McPherson at San Diego's Rock Church that he simply said to Ciara, "Can we love each other without that? If you can love somebody without that, then you can really love somebody." Ciara agreed, but she told People magazine it wasn't easy, especially because she considered Russell to be the most beautiful thing she had ever laid her eyes on. And of course, the feeling was mutual. Russell made an effort to connect with everyone who was important in her life. Aside from bonding with her son, Ciara told Red Table Talk that Russell met her entire family before they became an official couple. He also wanted to prove to her that he could bring stability into her life. Ciara described him as being very consistent, and whenever he thought about Ciara, he also thought about her son. She added that Russell gave her a different level of lead her. Russell said he knew right then that the Lord had brought her into his life for a very special reason. In July 2016, they became husband and wife. 3 months after tying the knot, they announced they were expecting a baby. Their daughter, Sienna, was born in April 2017. 2 years later, Ciara told Extra that Russell wanted 8 children. She added, "We'll just go one day at a time, but I definitely do look forward to having more kids. We got time for that." They welcomed their son, Win, in July 2020. 2 months later, in a video captured by Ciara, Russell is seen holding their son and saying he wanted more little things. Ciara had to shut him down right away by responding, "Okay, sit down. I'm gonna stop the video right now."
Like, damn, Ninja. She just had a baby. Ain't even healed up good yet. You trying to put another one up in there?
And then in 2022, Ciara guest hosted an episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Russell surprised her on set, got down on one knee, and asked her in front of the studio audience,
Serious question.
No, what is going on?
Can we have more babies? I mean, it would be perfect. Just give me one more at least, you know what I mean? Is that a yes?
We definitely can't. We got a little time before we get there.
Oh, come on. All right.
So silly. I was like, what? I mean, we already been there before, you know what I'm saying?
The crowd went wild, and some thought it was a special moment. Others didn't appreciate how he put her on the spot. Either way, he got his wish when Ciara announced in August 2023 that they were expecting another baby. Their daughter, Amora, was born in December 2023. 8 months after Amora's birth, Ciara posted a photo of herself, and a fan praised her for how crazy good she looked postpartum. Russell replied to the person by saying, "So crazy she ready to have another one."
Is this Ninja okay? I mean, is this some kind of kink? a pregnancy kink or something? Because this is getting a little strange, y'all. This is a little odd, a little weird. I can't even lie.
In April 2025, he was back at it again. This time, he suggested on Instagram that they start the process of conceiving Cinco, the name he has given their fifth child. Sierra responded by telling Access Hollywood, "Let me tell you, someone needs to take my husband's phone right now, okay? Because he needs to stop, okay?"
Take his phone and give his ass a vasectomy. That's what you can do.
She added, "Listen, Amora came out and he starts talking about Cinco. I'm like, that's just disrespectful. Do you know what I went through right now with this?"
Sierra said, "Not my goodies, my goodies."
Online users have noticed that Russell has started a campaign to bring Cinco into existence and has even gotten their fans to join him in begging Sierra for another child.
You gotta be bored as hell to be begging two complete strangers to have a baby. I mean, get a damn life. Don't y'all participate in that foolishness. Stay out them folks' marriage and out of their pants. Okay, yeah. Stay out of his pants and stay out of her pants.
That brings us to September 2025. Sierra's son with Future had Russell's last name added to his name. And meanwhile, Sierra visited the Grammy Museum to promote her new album, CC. During a fireside chat, Russell popped up and said,
Right as well. Speaking of riding, when is Cinco coming?
Babe, that is such a private conversation.
Let's check it.
I mean, y'all don't even be practicing like we want to make Cinco up.
Now, this is just weird as hell. Enough is enough now, damn.
So the first time he begged for another baby, it was cute. The fifth time he begged, it was cute too. But now, a lot of online users are absolutely sick of his begging ass. People are now wondering if Russell is knocking Sierra up as a form of subtle control. Or is he trying to keep her pregnant so she'll be too busy to bless us with more terrible music?
Bestie, you wrong as hell for that one now. Stop it right now. Some of CC's songs really good now. I like some. You just messy. Just
We also can't ignore the fact that Russell is at the tail end of his football career with the New York Giants, and athletes often look for something else to hold on to when their prime fades. For Russell, fatherhood might be the new stage. Each time Sierra reveals another pregnancy, the headlines focus less on his performance on the field and more on the image of a family man still winning at life. Psychologically, Russell has always leaned into being the provider, protector, and man of God. Family is central to that identity. As the applause on the field quiets, doubling down on the role of husband and father gives him a sense of control and purpose. Consciously or not, getting Sierra pregnant again and again keeps that story alive. It allows him to pivot from Russell Wilson, the star quarterback, to Russell Wilson, the family man, which is an easier narrative to stomach as his career winds down. No one can say for sure what conversations happen behind closed doors, but the pattern is clear. Every time Russell's career or Sierra's music falters, the headlines shift to Russell begging to fertilize her eggs. In the end, the world may never know the truth about why Russell always seems to want Sierra pregnant. What people do know is how it comes across as a bit suffocating, repetitive, and oddly suspicious. The perfect love story now appears as a reminder that in Hollywood, even the most beautiful unions can conceal twisted motives. Tiana's beginnings reflected the hunger of a Harlem girl with ambition too big for her surroundings. Her influences were rooted in the eclectic soundscapes of hip-hop and R&B that dominated the streets. From an early age, she was immersed in performance, dance, and style, often described as the girl who could outshine anyone in the room. That early energy caught the attention of the industry, landing her in the orbit of Pharrell Williams. Signing to Pharrell's imprint should have been the beginning of a fairy tale. He was one of the most powerful producers of his era, and his co-sign was the kind of validation that most new artists could only dream of. She signed with Pharrell's Star Trek Entertainment imprint. Tiana said Pharrell really wanted to have children at the time, so he was excited when Tiana started calling him Pops. Their bond continued to deepen as Pharrell called himself Skateboard P and Tiana referred to herself as Skateboard T. They even wore matching clothing.
Oh, ain't that cute?
Her early image was crafted around authenticity and rawness. In the 2000s, when MySpace aesthetics and streetwear dominance blurred the lines between underground cool and mainstream recognition, Tiana was a perfect fit. She wasn't manufactured, she was organic, the kind of artist who seemed to live the lifestyle she promoted. For a moment, that authenticity felt like it would be her ticket to longevity. From there, the machine was put into action to get Tiana the maximum amount of exposure. She appeared on MTV's My Super Sweet 16 and dropped her first single, Google Me, in 2008. The song charted on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs list, peaking at number 90.
90? Is that all? Girl, the way you gassing it up, I would have thought it was a #1 hit. I thought maybe I just hadn't heard of it. Oh, number 90. Okay then, all right.
Well, Auntie Regina, you're right. It wasn't a smash, but it was enough to put her name in rotation. At the time, there was a sense that this was simply the introduction or an appetizer to a much larger meal, or so she thought. By the time the single was released, her professional relationship with Pharrell was on its last leg. Tiana admitted that she had put him on a pedestal, so she was devastated when he didn't protect her from outsiders who began to mismanage her career. According to Tiana, Pharrell was too non-confrontational, and he allowed other people to break them apart. That was no surprise to people who understood Pharrell's track record. His label was allegedly notorious for mismanaging its roster. Artists have spoken about waiting for their albums to be released, waiting for promotion, and waiting for some sense of direction, like Khalees, for example. Khalees has spoken publicly about feeling misled by Pharrell, claiming she was told that the profits from her first 2 albums would be split evenly, but she received nothing due to being blatantly lied to and tricked. Her time on Pharrell's label came to an end, and her debut album was never released. The anticipation that had been built up around her name began to dissipate, and in an industry where attention is currency, every delay drained her momentum. While contemporaries like Rihanna skyrocketed into superstardom, Tiana was left feeling confused about what steps to take next. And this is exactly what happens when an artist has the industry's validation without the industry's investment. After leaving Star Trek and signing with Kanye West's Good Music in 2012, success for Tiana seemed undeniable. Kanye had reshaped hip-hop's cultural center, and being under his wing promised both visibility and credibility. Tiana appeared on his 2012 Cruel Summer compilation album, her vocals draped across tracks that featured some of the most powerful names in the game. In theory, this was the bridge that would finally carry her into the mainstream. But the rollout of her music told a different story. Her 2014 debut studio album, 7, received critical praise but minimal label support. Kanye's ass didn't even make an appearance on the album.
A damn shame.
It debuted at number 19 on the Billboard 200, and the momentum fizzled almost immediately. The singles didn't climb high enough to cement her in the public eye. It was clear by that point. Tiana was talented but overlooked, valuable enough to keep but not valuable enough to fully invest in.
Oh, poor little Tink Tink.
During the 2016 MTV Video Music Awards, Kanye released his music video for the song Fade, which featured a scantily clad Tiana and her baby daddy, who later became her husband, Iman Shumpert, looking sexy as hell. While Tiana hoped Kanye's label would drop her sophomore album shortly after the premiere to capitalize on the attention she was receiving, Kanye dropped the ball.
What else is new, girl? Damn.
It wasn't until 2018 that Kanye's label finally released her second studio album, KTSE. The album included some decent personal tracks, including a song about how she and Iman love to add a third person to their bedroom. She felt the wrath of her fans, who were disappointed in the lyrics of the song. So she took to her Twitter and responded to a follower with, "Just because I repeat me, enjoy bussin' down from time to time with my husband doesn't mean I don't respect self. So you should go and enjoy your whack-ass sex life and stay out of mine."
Oh, no, the hell she didn't. And
She also confirmed during a chat with the Bumble dating app that she was the one who initiated their encounters. In another song called Issues, Hold On, she explores all the ugly feelings that come with being in love in the public eye, alluding to possible marital issues. But no matter how much she revealed about her personal life, nothing really worked. The album barely peaked at number 17 on the charts. In other words, nobody was checking for Tiana or her music. From there, she did what most artists do best when they need to resuscitate their career. She headed to reality TV.
Oh, Lord, fix it, Black Jesus.
The reality show Tiana and Iman premiered in March 2018 and was supposed to contain 8 episodes. But when the show went off the air after episode 6, rumors emerged that Tiana and Iman had split up after he was caught cheating on her.
That ninja.
She gave birth to their second daughter, Rue, in September 2020. And then they signed up for a new reality show in 2021 called We Got Love, Tiana and Iman. But after a successful first season, the show wasn't renewed for season 2, which sparked even more breakup rumors. As we now know, Tiana and Iman's marriage was deeply fractured with infidelity issues, financial disparities, and allegations that Iman was jealous of her career. She released another album on Juneteenth 2020 called The Album.
Oh, that's original.
Tiana threw an album release party, smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. She received more press for hosting a party and not following quarantine protocols than for the album.
She just can't win, huh?
After experiencing numerous disappointments in the industry and 5 months after the album's release, she announced her retirement. During a visit to Cam Newton's Sip and Smoke series, Tiana said she stepped away because she felt unseen. She was also disappointed with how Kanye's label handled her. She added, "I felt like the label wasn't really hearing me and seeing me. I felt underappreciated. So for my mental health, my mental well-being, for my kids, let me just put this on ice for a little bit." She focused on other projects, such as starring in the 2023 movie 1001. In 2023, she announced that she and Iman had separated. Although she intended for it to be an amicable parting for the sake of their daughters, it turned into a hot, stankin' mess. We broke it all down in a previous video, which is linked in our description box. Tiana and Iman's divorce was finalized in 2024, and she moved on with Aaron Pierre.
That's Mufasa.
Tiana and Aaron first sparked romance rumors when they were seated together at the American Black Film Festival Honors in February 2025. The following month, the mom of 2 seemingly confirmed they were an item after she shared photos of them at the 2025 Oscars. In June 2025, they pretty much confirmed their relationship when they were caught smooching at Aaron's surprise 31st birthday party. That same month, Tiana released the music video for her new single, Long Time, which features a cameo by Aaron. Now, Aaron was having his moment after fans noticed his thang was thangin' as he shimmied down Jennifer Hudson's Spirit Tunnel. So naturally, people thought that Tiana was using him for PR to revive her struggling career.
And by people, you mean RRG, don't you? That's what you mean.
Her 4th studio album, Escape Room, was released on August 22, 2025, on her own imprint, Tailor Made Enterprises. It debuted at number 67 on the Billboard charts.
Well, damn. Maybe she need to find something else to do. I mean, maybe music just ain't it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline.
So not even Aaron was able to bounce her juicy cakes into relevancy.
Bestie, you messy as hell. Not the juicy cakes.
Tiana's decision to parade Aaron around as her new romantic interest is the kind of PR maneuver that often looks strategic on paper, but does little to shift the reality of a career's trajectory. In the entertainment industry, coupling is a tried and true tool for grabbing headlines and keeping a name in circulation. But in her case, the move has exposed the gap between visibility and relevance. The relationship feels like a spectacle without substance. In certain circles, Aaron carries credibility as a rising star, but his profile doesn't align with the type of widespread mainstream visibility that Tiana needs. For a PR relationship to truly amplify an artist's platform, the partner has to be in a position of cultural dominance, someone who brings both media coverage and consumer influence.
So in other words, she need like a Jay-Z by her side. That what you trying to say, Bestie? Aaron ain't big enough. He ain't A-list yet. That's what you're trying to say.
His presence generates Instagram reports and Twitter commentary, but it doesn't translate into album sales, streams, or consistent media momentum. The optics of the relationship also highlight a kind of desperation that fans and critics can sense. By leaning into a relationship that feels orchestrated, she risks undermining the authenticity that once made her stand out. Audiences are savvy enough to recognize when a pairing feels manufactured, and rather than boosting her profile, it creates skepticism about her motives. That skepticism erodes credibility, especially when the music itself fails to command attention on its own.
Damn. Ooh, this analysis is making me uncomfortable. On her behalf. Ooh, Lord.
In this current landscape, attention spans are short and stunts fade quickly unless they are attached to groundbreaking content. Without a hit single or a viral moment to accompany the visibility, the relationship becomes a headline with no follow-up. For Tiana, who has spent years trying to convince the public that she deserves to be mentioned alongside the most respected names in R&B, this kind of hollow attention doesn't help her cause. It adds to the noise rather than sharpening her artistic identity. Tiana has long craved recognition as a music powerhouse, but it's just not sticking for her. Fans appear to be more fixated on her personal life, the issues she was having with Iman's community payness, and her love for munching on women's fish tacos.
Now, come on now. Now, you didn't have to say it like that. You didn't have to say it like that.
Despite this recent flop, Tiana is still fighting for a spotlight that once seemed guaranteed, and she's still searching for that moment where the world finally sees her fully. Whether she ever gets that moment, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Better insight, we have to take you back to the 90s when a teenage athlete named Derek Shaw was living in Pearson, Georgia. Derek told the Kansas City Star that he spent part of his high school years homeless with his mom, who was having mental health issues, and his father was in trouble somewhere out in California. After one of his basketball games in his junior year of high school, Derek was told that the girl he had been seeing, fellow athlete Anisha Hill, had given birth to a baby boy on March 1, 1994. She named the baby Tyreek Hill. Since Anisha was only 16, her parents decided to raise the baby. His grandma described him as radiant but shy and said he often got teased for his dark skin. His dad told the Kansas City Star that Tyreek learned to defend himself but was never the one to instigate an altercation.
Meanwhile, while he was away from the house, he was probably one of them YNs. You know, one of them young niggas, as they call them. Because ain't no way a shy and radiant boy turned into the menace of a man that we know today.
By his teenage years, Tyreek's natural abilities started to shine. In 9th grade, he and his grandparents moved so Tyreek could go to a larger high school called Coffee High, where he was guaranteed more exposure for his athleticism. Although he excelled as a track star and football player, he hated school. His grades were terrible, and he didn't even walk across the stage because he failed the graduation test.
With his dumb ass.
Unsurprisingly, none of the big schools in Georgia were interested in recruiting him, despite Tyreek being a state champion in the 100 and 200 meters. So he went off to Garden City Community College in Kansas, where he played football and continued to run track before transferring to Oklahoma State University. And that's where things started to get messy for him. In 2014, he was locked up and later pled guilty to domestic assault and battery against his then pregnant girlfriend, Crystal Espinal.
Did I ever punch you in your face and your lip? No, I did not, bro.
You had your hand around my neck.
No, I did not, bro.
He was booted from the football team and sentenced to 3 years probation. The incident nearly ended his career before it began. However, in September 2015, the University of West Alabama decided to give him a chance. From there, the Kansas City Chiefs selected him in the 2016 NFL Draft. It was a controversial decision due to Tyreek's history and past behavior. Tyreek and Crystal got engaged and had 3 children, but peace didn't last, and they were on and off for several years. In March 2019, police were called to the Hill home twice and determined that their 3-year-old son had been injured. The DA decided not to file charges against Tyreek or Crystal. Although the child had been injured, the DA couldn't determine which parent was the perpetrator. And then a Kansas City news station aired an 11-minute audio file between Crystal and Tyreek.
You grabbed onto him somehow, or he fell. One of the two.
I didn't do nothing. That's sad, bro.
Think about why a freaking 3-year-old would tell everybody and anybody that you broke his arm. Then why?
I'm the one that plays with him, maybe. That's why. You don't do with him. I'm the one that get physical with it.
No. Kept saying, Daddy punches me, which you do. When he starts crying, what do? You make him open up his arms and you punch him in the chest. And then if he gets in trouble, you get the belt out and you do.
Okay, so what about you? What you don't do? Also, I'm just gonna take it.
No, I told
him
that he gets whooped. I told him that he gets whooped, but I don't use a belt.
Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real.
You know how I am with kids, and you know how I am with. I'm very hard, but I would never ever hurt my son in life.
He is terrified of you.
You need to be terrified of me too. Don't bitch. That's why you can't keep man.
Shots fired.
I had the kids. Or I go have my own.
You've said that before. That's fine.
As a result of the audio being released, the criminal investigation into Tyreek was reopened. He was benched from the Chiefs' team activities, which prompted him to write the organization a 4-page letter.
What in the Aaliyah is going on here? If you had studied for your graduation test the way you wrote that 4-page letter, you may have been able to walk your dumb ass across the stage.
The letter included Tyreek's theory that Crystal secretly recorded him when they were considering a breakup. In other words, he felt like Crystal was trying to get him to implicate himself because she was upset that their relationship was over. The letter also included a text message exchange that went a little something like this.
Crystal, you know I didn't cause any bruising or harm to our son, but for some reason I still may be charged. I know you didn't. I did. I hurt him. I'm the one that did it. I was hurt and mad at you, so I blamed you for everything. Oh, lying heifer.
Ultimately, the case against Tyreek went inactive, and the NFL decided not to suspend him. He and Crystal ended their relationship in 2019, and Tyreek was ordered to pay $13,500 in child support for their 3 children. With that situation behind him, he continued to excel on the field, and he helped the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in 2020. By 2021, Tyreek seemed ready for a new start, and he started dating Keita Vaccaro, the sister of former NFL safety Kenny Vaccaro. According to Keita, she and Tyreek had known each other for years before they started dating.
Oh, okay, so they were smash buddies. Got it.
He proposed in 2021, and she said yes. Following their engagement, they hit a bump in the road and decided to end things. Keita packed up and moved to Los Angeles. While in LA, Tyreek reached out and they decided to reconcile.
What did Auntie tell y'all about spinning the block? What did I say?
In 2022, Tyreek was traded to the Miami Dolphins and signed a 4-year, $120 million contract. The following year, all hell broke loose.
Lord, here we go. Here we go.
A woman named Brittany Lackner came forward with paternity test results that showed that Tyreek was her unborn baby's pappy. Tyreek was paying her $2,500 in child support, but after the child was born, he reportedly refused to make payments until they conducted a second DNA test to confirm paternity. Brittany clapped back by demanding he give her more child support that was more in line with the millions of dollars he was making every year. She explained that she was unemployed, has no income, and is on Medicaid with no means of support.
I'm so sick of you broke hoes bringing children into this world. I am sick of y'all.
Tyreek filed a petition of his own, proposing a joint custody arrangement that many saw as his attempt to escape paying hefty child support payments. And then a woman named Camille Valman confirmed to the Daily Mail that Tyreek was the father of her son, Tyreek Hill Jr., who was born in March 2023.
Yeah.
And then another woman named Kimberly Kaylee Baker came forward and accused Tyreek of being the father of her newborn daughter, Trey Love Hill.
Yeah.
So yes, Tyreek welcomed 3 children in 2023.
Just hitting everybody wrong. That's just disgusting.
In the filing, Kimberly also stated she was receiving $2,500 per month from Tyreek, but taking care of the little girl was costing her close to $10,000 per month.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Knock on my window like that, no. Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me me F. Get out of the car. Give me F. I'm gonna break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Damn. What part of blood are you in this car? Get out, bro. Too late. Chill, Too late. All right, man. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. We are. We will. Good, bro. You stop crying. Y'all. Don't move. Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
While all this was happening, Tyreek and Keita decided it was the perfect time to take their relationship to the next level. She said to him, "We know each other. We know what we're getting into. If that's what you want, let's go to the courthouse and do it."
So it was her idea? Fix it, Black Jesus.
They got married in November 2023. It looked like the Playboy athlete had finally settled down. But less than 2 months after tying the knot, Tyreek filed for divorce.
Now say what now?
And guess what, besties? He later blamed the filing on someone on his team and said it was made without his approval. Tyreek and Keita's daughter, Capri Hill, was born in November 2024. Keita joined Netflix reality show Wags to Riches in January 2025, and Tyreek even made a few appearances. They appeared happy and in love, but just a few months after the show premiered, all hell broke loose.
Somebody need to go down there and check on them gates of hell. Somebody need to make them gates just a little bit stronger, because the way hell be breaking loose out here, we need a work order for the gates of hell, please. Work order.
In April 2025, Keita's mom called the police. Keita's mother told the dispatcher that Keita and Tyreek were upset when they found out she called 911 because they didn't want the incident to ruin his career.
So he'll kill us with a baby. Oh my God. No, you did it. You're mean. You're mean. I am.
Ma'am, don't intervene with him, ma'am.
When the responding officers arrived, her mom said Tyreek was being very aggressive and impulsive. She also told authorities she witnessed Tyreek throw a computer to the floor and grab the baby during an argument. Keita told officers they'd been arguing frequently and that the fight started when she commented that Tyreek wasn't involved enough with her daughter, and that he would get upset whenever she gave her opinion, and she stated that he becomes angry and throws objects around. Tyreek reportedly admitted that he grabbed the baby and said he did so because he had the same rights as Keita. He also said they had been arguing after he returned from training and they were discussing therapy, which caused the argument to escalate.
If discussing therapy makes you angry, it might be time for you to go to therapy. I mean, I'm just saying. Good God.
Although they both denied that things had gotten physical, officers observed a bruise on Keita's upper chest, which she told them could have happened unintentionally when Tyreek grabbed the baby from her. Keita told officers that she was in the process of filing for a divorce, and she wasn't lying because 24 hours later, she filed for divorce. At this point, many began to wonder, was this just another bump in a toxic love story, or was Keita finally walking away for good? For years, Tyreek's image has been carefully curated, but the facts behind the curtain paint a different picture. One of emotional volatility, legal disputes, a marriage seemingly held together by image rather than peace, and multiple children conceived with multiple women. Speaking of his children, Keita confirmed during an episode of Wags to Riches that their daughter was Tyreek's 10th child. When asked by her castmate how she felt about him having so many kids, Keita responded, "We just have more kids than most people. I wasn't even counting. I was just worried about my own life." Crazy, huh?
Yeah, crazy as hell. Because how you don't care about how many children your partner has conceived with his community dangling? You don't care that your child will have half siblings spread all across these United States? Oh, okay.
As for Tyreek, he has refused to confirm how many children he has fathered during an April 2024 interview on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. He said,
"It don't matter how many kids I have. A lot of people won't be able to say Tyreek don't take care of his kids, though." Oh, yeah, $2,500 a month for each child. Let me see, what is it, about $25,000 a month? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you take care of them kids real good. Real good.
Tyreek has attempted to control his own narrative, but this recent incident has everyone talking. The Miami Dolphins have confirmed they're in communication with him, and it's unclear how the team and the league will handle this situation. Can Tyreek's career survive another scandal? Or will this be the moment that forces him to finally slow down and confront the tomfoolery he has created? Only time will tell, but if history repeats itself, the next chapter may be just as messy as the last. Are we on point with these red flags, or do we need to mind our nosy-ass business? Let us know down below, and thanks for watching RRG.
Just in case you new here, that's a rhetorical-ass question, okay? We'll sure enough be back, honey. If somebody put it out there, these celebrities don't know how to keep they arguments in their household, and they don't want to tweet about it and go on live and talk about it, guess what? We'll be back.
To give more insight into this situation, we have to take you back to when Jeffrey Lamar Williams, better known as Young Thug, welcomed his first child at the age of 17. From there, he welcomed 5 more children, making him a father of 6 kids by 3 women. In an interview with GQ, he called parenthood one of the hardest things he has ever done. He said, "They ain't easy. It'd be like, if I could take this back, yes, what the fuck was I thinking?"
Is he a deadbeat? Because it's giving deadbeat a little bit. A lot of it is giving deadbeat.
He's also been involved in messy relationships, including with Jerica Carley. They got engaged sometime around 2015, and they had numerous breakups that played out online and rumors of infidelity. Jerica publicly ended their engagement around 2020 and labeled Thug the devil after accusing him of abuse and chronic cheating. In 2021, he and Mariah teamed up for the song Walked In. Months later, they were spotted at a sporting event. Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug presumably began dating sometime toward the end of 2021. Photos of the couple were posted on Instagram showing them cozying up to each other.
What did I wear on our first date?
I don't know what you wore on the first date because you stood me up. How about that?
This is crazy. No, I did not.
I don't know what you had on that day.
Can we put ding ding right there? The ding ding need to go right there. Ding ding.
And when Thug gave her an out by telling her she could walk away because he didn't know how long he'd be gone, she refused. Because in her mind, leaving meant betrayal and failure. The truth is, most women are socialized from birth to equate endurance with love. But here's where things get a bit dark. Studies show that in heterosexual relationships, men are far less likely to stay when their partner becomes seriously ill, let alone incarcerated. So why do women stay? Well, it's because they're conditioned to believe that real love is proven through sacrifice. That to be a good woman means to hold it all together, even when the man breaks down, disappears, or when his absence becomes the loudest part of the relationship. Women tend to romanticize struggle, with some believing that if they love hard enough, it will transform their partner. Most men aren't raised to nurture. They're not taught to stay present in discomfort. Instead, they're groomed to seek relief, escape, and newness. And when the women in their lives need care or empathy, they often shut down, pull away, or disappear altogether. Mariah's choice to stay wasn't just about love. It was about proving she could handle what most women would walk away from.
I wouldn't have walked away either. I would have ran like the devil. Baby, I would have been like, pew.
He gets 1 visit a week, and I do attend every week. I definitely arrange my week around it.
How often do you guys talk?
Every day, all day.
She said they talked all day, every day, and she loved connecting with him. But behind closed doors, the dynamic likely goes deeper. Jail relationships often function on a distorted power spectrum. While the incarcerated person may appear helpless, they often hold emotional power through scarcity. You can't reach them unless they want to be reached. They call when they want. They write when they choose, while the other partner has to wait and hope for the phone to ring. And in the waiting, the partner on the outside becomes loyal to the story rather than the person.
That's fire. That's fire. They're a little bit too long, these nails. Your nails should not come over your fingertip.
Nigga, please.
It shouldn't come over the skin.
Nigga, please.
Even one of Thug's baby mamas sang her praises, calling Mariah a blessing for urging him to call his kids every day. But when a woman finds purpose in a man's jail sentence and distance becomes intimacy, the red flags start to ding, ding, ding all over the place. That brings us to the next layer in this hot, stinking mess, and it lies in the trauma bonding cycle. According to a study published in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, trauma bonds form when intense emotional experiences are followed by intermittent reinforcement. In other words, when someone loves you one day and disappears the next, the brain becomes addicted to the unpredictability. It's the casino effect. You never know what you're gonna get, but when you win, the high is euphoric. It's quite obvious that Mariah didn't fall in love with stability. She fell in love with a fantasy dressed in chaos, and to some, chaos is addictive. By 2023, she already had her foot on the gas and was looking forward to the future. She told the Baller Alert show, "I feel like he definitely wants to be married, and I feel like I do too." She also romanticized her little jailbird. Oops, I mean her boyfriend, by telling Complex magazine that she was very proud to be with him, and they had a great balance in their relationship.
Balance? Okay, well, I guess imprisonment and freedom is a balance. They on different sides of the spectrum, that's for sure.
Thug was released in October 2024 after accepting a plea deal in his RICO trial and being sentenced to time served and 15 years of probation. Months later, all hell broke loose.
Here we go. Here we go.
In December 2024, footage leaked of a 2022 video call Thug had in prison with Instagram model Lena Syed. The conversation appeared to be romantic in nature, sparking concern amongst some on social media, as Thug would have been dating Mariah for about a year when the call was recorded.
Obviously, I want you to be out here with me, like, I want you. Can you please start calling me again? I love you.
In the call, he also explained how he feared that Mariah loved him too much. He also admitted to calling at least 10 other women each time he hopped on the phone. Rather than avoiding the gossip, Thug took to his Twitter account on Christmas Eve 2024 to publicly apologize to Mariah. In another post, he referred to Lena as his twin,
Nigga, please,
and said the public had misconstrued the nature of their conversation. Do you think Mariah stayed with him?
Hell yeah.
You're right, Auntie. Just days later, they were photographed celebrating the holidays together. Her supporters wanted her to get a backbone and walk away because Thug's jailhouse disrespect didn't just confirm betrayal, it screamed out loud that Mariah wasn't the only one. One of the more uncomfortable moments played out in public at the 2025 BET Awards.
Thank you so much. I love your music. I love you.
At the time, Mariah's song Burning Blue was tearing up the charts. But Thug shattered her moment when he pulled her across the red carpet like a rag doll, and then he flipped the middle finger as he stormed away like a toddler.
Not a toddler, bestie. You're so damn messy.
Psychologically, this is a textbook example of territorial behavior. It's a form of nonverbal communication that signals ownership and control.
So you smarter than you look.
Ooh. Before rising to fame, Mariah was a pre-med student at St. John's University in New York City, studying biology on a scholarship. But despite being book smart, she appears to lack emotional discernment and the ability to recognize when love has crossed the line into self-neglect. Intelligence in the classroom doesn't always translate to wisdom in relationships, and in Mariah's case, it seems her head bowed to her heart, even when it was breaking. Perhaps this experience has made Mariah realize that she fell in love with the idea of Thug rather than his true self. Psychologists call this idealization, the tendency to fall for who someone could be, especially when distance and fantasy blur the truth. While Thug was locked away, she likely fell for the version of him she created in her mind, the man who needed her and promised to give her the world, all while chatting with 10 other women.
I love you.
While Mariah clings to the fantasy of who he could be, she loses sight of who she is. Not all grief comes from losing another person. Some of the most paralyzing grief comes from waking up and realizing how far you've drifted from yourself in the name of love. The moment Mariah stopped being the main character in her own life and started living inside Thug's chaos, she gave up authorship of her own story. And that is a loss no love should ever come with, no matter how intense or intoxicating it feels. Are we on point with these red flags, or are we tripping? From the outside, Papoose still looks as unbothered as ever. But psychologically, this behavior suggests something far more complex. This is not about commitment anymore. It is about emotional enmeshment and the quiet desperation of a man who cannot let go of a love that became his entire reason for existing. To understand Papoose' psyche, we first need to explore the concept of identity fusion.
Hold on a minute. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all is finna learn something today. Do you hear me? You may not even need to get your degree in psychology after we finish this here series. Okay, y'all buckle up now. Ooh-wee, honey. This is finna be good.
According to social psychologist William B. Swan Jr., identity fusion occurs when an individual's personal identity becomes so tightly tied to a group or relationship that they experience a profound sense of oneness. In these cases, threats to the relationship or group are experienced as threats to the self. Walking away from Remy now would not just feel like a breakup. It would feel like a personal death, a collapse of the narrative he spent over a decade building. During a recent Instagram Live, Remy Ma revealed that despite the deep fracture in their relationship, Papoose remained intensely committed to preserving their public image of Black love. She admitted the push present from Papoose when she was pregnant with their daughter was actually paid for with her own money. However, she let the public believe he bought it for her to go along with the image he wanted to portray. According to her, they hadn't shared a bed since 2022, yet he still clung to the brand they had built together.
You refuse to tell people, hey, me and Rem haven't even slept in the same bed since May 2022. You don't want to tell nobody that. You were so wrapped up in the whole Black love thing. That was your thing. That was the only thing you had.
This isn't just about denial. From a psychological standpoint, Papoose may be emotionally invested not in the relationship itself, but in what the relationship represents.
Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth.
When someone spends years publicly performing loyalty, sacrifice, and resilience, the relationship becomes less about connection and more about identity preservation. Psychologists refer to this as ego attachment, a defense mechanism where the image of the relationship becomes more valuable than the reality of it. In Papoose's case, continuing to represent Black love to the world may be his way of maintaining control over the narrative, even as the emotional foundation behind it has long eroded. It's not just love he's protecting, it's the role he played in a story that made him feel seen and worthy. But when two people stop sharing a bed, yet one of them keeps broadcasting unity, the gap between reality and performance becomes emotionally dangerous. Eventually, it's not just the relationship that fractures, the person living inside the illusion starts to crumble. This might explain why it allegedly took Papoose so long to retain a divorce lawyer and won't pick up some of his belongings from their home. His reluctance to do all of this has occurred while Remy has moved on with battle rapper Easy the Block Captain, and Papoose has moved on with his new girlfriend, Clarissa.
Is that the one that wear the little kitten heels? Is that her? That's what you're talking about.
After putting him on blast, Papoose finally filed for divorce on May 22, 2025. But again, this came after Remy laid out all of their issues for the world to see. For a man like Papoose, who built his entire identity on loyalty, that kind of truth is too brutal to face. The psychological mechanisms at play here are similar to what therapists describe as trauma bonding. Trauma bonding occurs when a person forms a deep attachment to someone who is inconsistent, controlling, or emotionally unavailable, often due to intense highs and lows in the relationship. While Papoose and Remy had their public moments of unity, much of their bond was built in the fire of her prison stint. Holding her down while she was incarcerated wasn't just an act of love, it was an act of identity consolidation. In standing by her, Papoose gave his life meaning. When she came home, that meaning didn't shift. He simply transferred it into public shows of devotion. But during her Instagram Live, Remy shared a very different version of events. She claimed that while she was incarcerated, she continued paying all the bills. Papoose had access to her accounts, and she was covering the cost of 3 separate apartments for him and his children from previous relationships. Still, she looked at Papoose and told herself she could hustle and earn it all back.
You know who this sound like? And y'all may not be old enough to remember this. This sound like what Cher had to go through after Sonny and what Tina had to go through after Ike.
Now, back to their divorce. Papoose's refusal to end things quickly and amicably can be seen as a classic defense mechanism known as denial-based ego preservation. According to psychologists, when someone's identity is closely tied to a relationship and that relationship ends or changes, their ego may go into crisis mode. The person will resist closure not because of love, but because the end threatens their core sense of self. That resistance can then spill over into new relationships. Clarissa, for example, may be the unintended recipient of emotional residue. Papoose's inability to detach from Remy may not stop him from building something new, but it does stop him from fully showing up in that new space. He may care for Clarissa, he may enjoy her company, but emotionally, he might still be unavailable, still tethered to the ghost of a marriage that ended long before the papers were filed.
That was my friend, I would be like, girl, you just turned 30 years old. You are a world champion. You are accomplished. You have made it from out the ghetto, from the slums, from the depths of Flint, Michigan. You don't got no kids. You have your whole life ahead of you. Why are you attaching yourself to this 47-year-old man that doesn't have anything going, has no career, no job, no income, except for the income that he's claiming off of you, your percentage, because he's your manager? Got you out here talking, looking crazy.
This dynamic, where a person remains loyal to someone they are no longer emotionally connected to, is known in psychology as legacy attachment. Legacy attachment is the psychological process of staying connected to a person, not because of the current emotional bond, but because of the investment and identity that have accumulated over time. Letting go of Remy means letting go of who Papoose believes himself to be. And because so much of his public worth was tied to being her ride or die, he may fear that without her, he will become irrelevant. Biblically, we are told in Matthew 6:21,
"Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also."
For Papoose, the treasure was always loyalty, not just to Remy, but to the idea that if you loved someone enough, you could redeem them. You could hold them through their mess, and they'd come back stronger. But the Bible also warns about placing our identity in people rather than God. Psalm 146:3 says,
"Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save."
When your entire identity is tied to saving someone else, you lose sight of your own need for healing.
Amen.
Papoose may be operating out of spiritual fatigue, the kind that comes when you pour into someone for years, only to find the cup was cracked. And that fatigue doesn't make you walk away. It makes you cling harder to protect the story so no one sees the wound. The relationship with Clarissa may offer comfort and distraction, but until Papoose faces the grief he buried under a mountain of loyalty, he will continue to show up half present in any new relationship. And Clarissa, if she is emotionally aware, will begin to feel the distance. There is also a gendered layer to this. Men are rarely socialized to process emotional abandonment. They are taught to protect and preserve. But when that protection becomes performative and the perseverance turns into stagnation, they are left with no emotional tools to rebuild. Papoose may have all the loyalty in the world, but without emotional accountability, that loyalty becomes a cage. There is something poetic about the way Papoose loves. It is devotional. But there is also something quietly tragic about it, because it is love that refuses to let go, love that cannot evolve, love that needs the relationship to remain broken just so it can keep trying to fix it. Until he accepts that his identity is not dependent on a title, until he mourns the dream instead of clinging to the ruins, Papoose will remain emotionally frozen, still married in his heart even if divorced on paper, still proving his worth to someone who may may no longer care, still stringing along a woman who deserves more than his emotional leftovers. In the end, the question isn't why Papoose won't let go of Remy. The question is whether he will ever let himself be free. Because healing doesn't come from staying loyal to who you were. It comes from being brave enough to become someone new. Don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts.
Now, y'all know we read through all the comments, okay, that y'all be putting up under the videos, and we can't always reply. Auntie love each and every one of y'all. Some of these comments deserve a reply. And so, NappyCat73 says, Miss Regina sounds like the old woman she is. I'm so tired of hearing how men are hunters and pursuers and like to chase women, yet men like to be chased by women for attention. So which is it? Rhetorical, I get it. They like to be chased or pursued by women because they like the attention. But they won't take that woman seriously because she's shown she can take control and therefore is not a submissive and obedient follower. The women they take seriously are the ones they pursue and make the first moves on. And when he catches her, then he grows bored and goes out to catch and tame another because it's the chase and not the capture that excites him. Or so I've heard. Is Auntie Regina married? I'm just wondering. Her advice is contrary and antiquated. Baby, the only thing that's contrary and antiquated is a username like NappyCat because Auntie gets laser hair removal, so... Anyway, let's take this thing from the top all the way to the bottom, shall we? Yes, I'm old and proud of it because that's the point. And I've made it this far. Glory. I don't know why y'all call people old like it's supposed to be a diss because getting old gracefully and fine is the point. And rich, that's the point. Okay? So listen, we see you tired of hearing about, how men are hunters and pursuers, even though I did use that terminology once before, but I don't believe I really talked about it that much. Well, maybe a couple of times. So it's both, but you got it a little twisted. Okay, so I try to simplify things for people like you who may not understand biology and things on a deeper level. But since you brought it up, baby, we're gonna talk about it today. Now you say rhetorical, but you're still talking. Yeah, I don't think you really understand what rhetorical means. So since you got something to say, I got something to say too. It's not that men like to chase for the sake of chasing. All of this is tied to biology, and you can look it up in your free time if you so desire. It seems like you like spending a lot of time over here, typing out comments and watching our videos since you're so tired of hearing what I got to say. And you know what I'm saying, apparently you're watching. But anyway, listen, the chase is tied to hormones that allow a woman and a man to bond. And that bonding occurs in biology so that there's a safe place for the woman and subsequent children that follow the bonding. All right? So the man pursues the woman. The woman, after a sexual encounter, releases something called oxytocin. The man, however, will not bond until he releases something called vasopressin. It's a little dance done between the hormones, and that's what the chase looks like. Now, after this vasopressin is released, his testosterone drops, and he pulls away for a bit, okay? This is when women tend to lose their mind because their oxytocin has increased, and so they're looking for a bond, and they don't understand why the man is pulling away. They don't understand biology. They don't listen to their auntie on RRG. It won't last long. If you are chosen and selected, he will pursue you. So when this vasopressin is released again, he will bond with this woman, and they will go on to create this happy monogamous family. But a lot of times, there's a biological reason that this chase is done, and it's not as basic as just a chase, and it has nothing to do with her being submissive. We see it happening all the time because these women are left a lot of times with children, numerous children, and they think that the next man will be different when in actuality, they're really all the same, just like all women are the same because we all have the same hormonal responses. NappyCat. And to answer your comment on whether I'm married or not, if I say I am married, what you gonna say? Well, she old, so her being married don't matter because what you say, my advice is contrary and antiquated. And then if I say I'm not married, what you gonna say? Well, she not married, she don't know what she talking about. So it's none of your business, ultimately, because it ain't gonna matter to people who don't want to listen. all right? I know a stove is hot. I ain't got to touch it to find out, okay? Either way, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Go ahead on somewhere, Nappy Cat, and work on that username. Maybe you can change it to Smooth Kitty. Hey! So Chill Will 8108 had something to say about the Lori Harvey video, her posing in the Playboy, the new print Playboy that's coming out. And he said, RG always going light on the females as usual. If it's a male, they on his neck. Let me tell y'all what the problem is. I didn't go light on her. I said that she's dated multiple men. And I also said that she may not be smart enough to do anything other than pose for Playboy and, use her femme fatale, her sexual wiles to get by. That's what I said. Y'all be hearing what you want to hear, okay? Get your feelings, off your sleeve. Get your heart off your sleeve, honey, and open them ears. Lord have mercy. If it warrants, I'm going to call out whoever needs to be called out. That's male or female. And technically, I'm always on these females busting that wide open, having multiple children by these men who ain't sticking beside them. If anything, I'm on them more than I'm on y'all. The statistics don't lie. If you need us to pull it up, Chill Will, just let us know. Okay then, Chill Will. I'm going to need you to chill. So here come Kara Johnson, 3203, want to say something about the Joy Chavis video where Joy was displaced after the LA fires and her 3 baby daddies ain't contributing to the well-being of her kids. So this is what she said. She said, this channel used to be fun. Now it's just constant finger wagging. Judging others just to feel better about your own miserable life. Well, first of all, Kara, you don't know me, and I'm far from miserable, baby. I'm actually living my best life over here. But it is what it is, and it's a celebrity show. It's a celebrity channel. And this is what we do. We over here talking about the celebrities, the ones that's doing well and the ones that ain't doing so well. And I have a feeling if we just talked about the celebrities that was doing well, y'all probably wouldn't even be over here. But you over here, Kara, because you're nosy, okay? Just like the rest of us. You want to know what's going on, all right? When you said it was fun, we was talking about the same thing, okay? We was talking about the same thing. So I don't understand what's changed, okay? And we're not finger wagging. Well, maybe we are. Maybe that's what y'all call. Y'all are real sensitive. This generation is just real sensitive. Let me tell y'all something. We not cut the same, okay? It might be because your grandmama's 32, all right? You don't have no old people in your family. Old people back in the day used to hurt your feelings. And they used to hurt your feelings, all right, because they didn't want you to get out in the world and get your feelings hurt. All right, so I'm the auntie that you never had. I'm the old lady in your life that maybe you never had. Y'all seem to think that everything is supposed to be fair and it's supposed to be right and everybody should be treated equally. They should, okay, but that ain't the world we live in. So let me prep you. Let me get you ready for real life. And let's just take a quick moment to talk about this whole judging concept, because y'all love to say, why we judging people? Don't judge people. Don't judge people. Like, that is what the world is made up of. The reason you make life decisions is because you're judging, right? You are saying to yourself, even if it's as simple as, let me see something y'all can understand. Going to the club. Am I going to go to this club, or am I going to go to that club? Now, this club is free drinks, okay, before 10 p.m. And this one is just a $5 cover charge, but you got to go at 8. Let me see. Let me judge which is more important to me. That's all judging means. It's a celebrity channel. This is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about their lives. Auntie is here to pull some life lessons out of there for y'all. But if you see that as, judging people to feel better about myself, baby, I got better things to do. You ain't got to read the comments. You ain't got to watch the stories. You don't have to be here, baby. Maybe it is harsh. Maybe it is, but I don't apologize for that, because Auntie, having lived her life, having seen many things, has wisdom to offer. And I don't know why so many of you all are against hearing from somebody who's been there, done that. You don't have to take my advice, but at least hearing the experiences of someone else to maybe avoid it in your own life, maybe make better decisions in your own life. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that y'all are so young, or younger than Auntie. And you think, well, I got a chance to do it over, or I still got time. Even if I mess up, I got a lot more mess ups and time to figure it out. But time and tomorrow is promised to none of us. I don't care what your age is. Kara, you matter to me too. And I'm sorry if you see it as finger wagging, baby. You wouldn't be feeling this way if you wasn't in the equation. Some of y'all might be baby mamas times 3, 4, or 5. And that's okay. You still got time to turn it around, honey. You still got time. So about the Sexy Red and MLK story that we did. Gorilla MC Gill 6967 says, I love you, RRG, but Dr. King ain't that innocent. He saw a black woman get R-word and didn't help that sister. You said he belonged to the black race. Yeah, maybe some of y'all, but not me. Stop putting that man on Christ level. Dr. King was a cheater and a freak. Sorry, but not sorry. Nobody is perfect. He would definitely smash Sexy Red, I'm sure. But no, he would not claim that chicken head. LOL. Girl, shut up. You feel the same way we feel. Anyway. Let's break this on down, okay? Never said Dr. King wasn't perfect. He had his vices, and he did have and represent the nature of a man. Now, the way y'all get butthurt on this channel, I can't even go into what I know about the nature of a man. But if that's something y'all want to know about, y'all let us know, and we will have a meeting and decide if it's something that we can bring to y'all. I know the nature of a man. Auntie has lived a little while. Y'all haven't, which is why I continue to bring this wisdom to y'all, but y'all don't want to listen. The young men get offended when I call out the nature of a man and break it down with science and biology, and the women say y'all judging and wagging your fingers. So, let me tell y'all something. As young people do, y'all are always buck up. Okay, that's just what young people do. Young people don't want to listen to old people. Some of them do. Most of them gonna pretend like they don't want to hear us, but I'm gonna keep dropping these nuggets and I'm gonna keep planting these seeds, and one of them gonna take root. Okay, one of them gonna take root and spring up, and y'all gonna do better because of it. So anyway, having said that, what we are exploring, or what I was attempting to explore, okay, with the Dr. King story and Sexy Red putting herself, creating this AI image of her dancing with Dr. King is, because let's go back to the Bible, because that's what most people understand, okay? Most of our readers in America, listeners, besties, just about everybody has a basic understanding and concept of some of the tenets of the Bible, okay? Let me take a breath here. And most of us are familiar with the saying in the Bible that we judge a tree by the fruit it bears, okay? So it's okay to call that tree an apple tree if it's bearing apples, all right? And that's why we call Dr. Martin Luther King our hero of the civil rights movement, because that's the fruit that he bore, all right? The civil rights movement was the impetus that changed many things for the better for black people in America. All right, and we can't take that from him. No matter how big of a freak you think he was, no matter how many vices he had, okay, no matter what he did in his past that was atrocious to us and our human nature, ultimately he ushered in changes, all right, for black people in America. All right, we have integration. All right, the bus boycott, all right, voter rights. All of that was ushered in by the things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did, and no matter what you say and how you feel about it, he did that. That's the fruit that he bore. Now, let's look at Sexy Red's tree and her fruit. Brown booty holes and pink. Success nonetheless. I won't take that from her, because I will be the first to admit that SIX, I'm spelling it wrong on purpose, sells. All right, and she wouldn't be as successful and well known if she wasn't as ratchet, okay, and as her music tends to be. I can't speak to her as an individual, because what I see is her persona. I don't know if she like that in real life or not. Hopefully it's just a persona that she puts out here. So the fruit that she has borne is best-selling records and money and a little ratchetness. All right, now you put them two side by side. It's like putting ketchup on a sweet pancake. They don't go together. That's just plain and simple and easy to see. All right, but you and I agree, because the last thing you said was no, he wouldn't claim that chicken head. Maybe he would have, but he wouldn't have told nobody about it. That's what we saying. We on the same page, girl. Get somewhere and sit down. Baby, I don't even know what this username is. Is he at High Arcade? Or is Shea Thiacade? Girl, I don't know what this name is, but anyway, she says, why y'all worried about their relationship? If she like what she got going on, that's all that counts. He must not be happy with his wife. Y'all always hollering about side chick. Does side chick get more than the wife or woman? Okay, and this is a comment about the Lotto and 21 Savage. Cause Lotto is a side chick. she the mistress. She the one on the side. Are you a side chick? You sounded real strong in your voice about a side chick. And this is something that side chicks say when they not the wife. They get real loud. They try to say the wife ain't happy and that the side chick get more than the wife. When, baby, let that Negro, get called to glory and go up to that funeral home. See who the funeral home talked to, the girlfriend, the side chick, or the wife. Just see who that insurance policy get paid out to, all right? See who the state gives that SSI check to, the children. See who that go to, the side chick, or the wife. See who them benefits roll through if the side chick get more than the wife. If you mean attention, okay, because the wife is busy. Doing wifely things. Side chicks would notice if they was the wife. I'm just saying. And this is something else. I'm giving y'all a lot today. I'm giving y'all a lot to bear, but just try to be strong. Y'all too sensitive. Y'all real sensitive. But my advice to you, baby niece, is to not be the side chick, okay? Have more self-respect for yourself than that, all right? If you the side chick, and you know you the side chick, and you know that this man has a wife and a family, argue with your mammy. You have self-esteem issues. Point blank period. I don't care what you say. And you can do better than that. You can be the main one. And this philosophy, this theory that men are not monogamous by nature is a bold-faced lie. Okay, because biologically that's how we're wired. That's the science behind it. So just because he didn't attach to you in a civil legislative way don't make you better than the wife, ma'am. It makes you exactly what the hell it is, a side chick. I don't think any woman should be the side chick. I think side chick, the fact that's even a term and a thing is a shame, to be honest with you. So do better, baby, so you can stay out of these comments, because Auntie see right through that. You super mad. You capitalized every word of your sentence. Okay, it's Shay Thighcade. You can do better than that. Lydia J3 might be a plant. I don't know. I don't even know if she black or not. She could be white. We don't know because she got a dog. She got a picture of a dog in here. But this is from the Trump video. Now, we didn't say all black people voted for him, but we say the majority didn't. And you can go look at the numbers for that. Like we say, numbers don't lie, honey. But she said, many black people voted for Trump. This channel and comment sections is racist as hell. I'll see myself out. Trump 2024. Y'all are so ignorant and dumb. SMDH. Now, let me tell you who's stupid and ignorant and dumb is people who say Trump 2024 because he was inaugurated in 2025. But so shouldn't it be Trump 2025? Is that right? Okay. I'm just asking. And I know the election was 2024, but are we okay? Anyway, this comment is so crazy. I don't even know. I don't even know how to clap back the bull crap. Let me see. Because we said what we said. We said what we said. We know that some black people were misled, misinformed, and voted for Trump. Now, y'all will argue with that. Y'all will say they knew what they was doing, okay? And maybe they did. And that's fine. We know that some folk out there voted for Trump. Most black folks, however, did not, Lydia. And black people can't be racist. Argue with your mama. Okay, so you're wrong about that, which is why I'm like, are you really black? Show your face. If you're scared, say you're scared. So yeah, that's all we really got to say about that, because baby, January ain't even over. And he has overturned almost everything black people have worked for and towards. So not only do the numbers not lie, but you can see for yourself. If you still want to say it with your chest, come back and tell us. So, Vincent Bros Highlights 3259 had something to say about our Halle Bailey and DDG relationship red flag video. He said, Bro, do y'all not know it's channels like this that cause DDG to part ways with Haley? From the beginning, DDG has been getting hated. Bro, y'all goofies are lonely as hell. Edit. Since I had the pen of shame, I will shine the light on two major questions aside from the YouTube creator of this channel. You're doing your job and you get paid, so you actually have a purpose dabbling in this mess, despite what I think. My questions are, do you get paid to gossip about this relationship? Do you know what it feels like to have millions of people talking about you? First of all, I could have thought of two better questions than that if I had the attention of the creator of this channel. I wouldn't ask no dumb shit like that. Really? But we'll get to that. We'll circle back around. First of all, if two people decide to be committed to one another, baby, there's not a demon in hell that can break them up. So, honey, that's some young-ish over there. If you say channels and gossip broke them up. Now, yes, it's hard to handle, all right? When you got people talking about you, you are in the social media streets. But that comes with being a celebrity. And didn't nobody tell him to put him and his child on social media 24/7 before that baby was even walking and talking? That was his decision. Now, what do we say? If you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen. Okay, go in there where the air conditioner at. But he thought it was gonna go different. See, and it didn't go his way. And now you wanna, and you, sir, ma'am, wanna blame us for doing what we do. We're just talking about celebrities. No, try again. Because if he wanted to be a good daddy and he wanted to be a good mate and he wanted to be a good life partner, he would have stayed his black where he was. And you seem to recognize and understand that why this channel is here. That this is our job, talking about celebrities. Like, I don't understand. It'd be different if our main objective was to talk about finance. Then you could come in here and say, why are you talking about celebrities? But if our entire channel is the curation of popular celebrity stories, why are y'all confused? Like, really? Most YouTube channels are monetized. Most YouTube channels are here because they're monetized. So that's why this first question is stupid. Okay, and the second question, do you know what it feels like to have millions of people talking about you? Maybe not millions, but due to the very nature of this video and all the comments, yeah, your third question should have been, do you give a flying and then I could finally answer, hell no. Next, Miss Me 0079 says, she talking about Lil Scrappy's toxic relationships. And it looked like she got a little history of her own, honey. She said, I'm 45 now. I learned in my 20s when I signed for a Cadillac truck for a man that left me for a midget. LOL. The audacity. So see that? Do I need to tell y'all? Do Auntie ain't the only one that be trying to tell y'all, all right, about giving too much too soon to people who don't deserve it, all right? And listen, if it was you, don't come in these comments talking about why y'all always talking about, because we know it happened, okay? And because a lot of times we done been there, done that. Trying to make it easier for y'all. Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all want to come in here and clap back at us, all right? For trying to lead y'all on the straight and narrow. Put y'all on the right path. Why is the path straight and narrow? It's narrow because it's hard. It ain't wide. It ain't easy doing the right thing. Because you think you can buy somebody love, all right? She said he left her for a midget, honey. Listen. And some of y'all done did all this for a man, honey, and he left you for somebody that look like a big toe, honey. Lord have mercy. So when we tell y'all, stop investing in men who have not invested in you, this is what we talking about. She probably wouldn't have had nothing to say had this man bought her a house. If he had bought her a house, she probably wouldn't have been as hurt. She'd be like, well, he still left me for a midget, but at least I got a house. No, the reason she feels compelled to say something is because he probably gave her, some wet draws and left her in debt. Behind the midget. Lord have mercy. No shade to any of our short people out there, our short friends. We just saying, within the context, you can understand what we're saying, right? If you can't grow up, and that wasn't dig either, grow up, you know what I'm saying, in age, maturity level. Oh, God. This is going left. So, y'all, I made a comment about MVSU playing at Trump's inauguration, and, I think somebody said Trump had given millions. Maybe I brought it up, but I also brought up the point that Biden administration had given billions with a B. Somebody, let me see what they name. LaShee Mayfoot, 8318, said Biden did not give billions of dollars to HBCUs. Stop lying. First of all, the ops be in here. I just want y'all to know the ops be in here. This ain't a black person. And if they are, they confused. But anyway, we went ahead on and clapped back. We couldn't wait for the video. And we said, uh-oh, you loud and wrong. But just like everything else, Trump has rolled back this article. If anybody else can find it, please feel free to share with us. But just like he rolled back, looked like he rolling back MLK, DEI, and everything else that would help black folks and other disenfranchised groups, he rolled this back too. He don't want no evidence out there that the Biden administration ever did anything. He want to be the one and only. And this, just as a sidebar, y'all, this is how history is also made, okay? The victors write history. The ones who come out victorious and on top, they burn the books, you know what I'm saying? They redact information, they cross out, they tear out pages. So if you didn't watch our video before where I said, and I can't remember which video it was, but I was reminding y'all to take all these books. Don't just have books on your Kindle devices, okay? Because all I got to do is flip a switch. All right? Then you don't have access to these digital books. Get these books with real paper that you can hold in your hand, because that information isn't taken back so readily, so that you can be informed, right? And so you have the real truth and the real history, and talk about it. Talk about it to your kids and your young ones, like I'm trying to talk to y'all. Y'all hard-headed. Y'all don't listen to nobody. But anyway, I just thought that was funny. So, because at least we gave a link. At least we did our research. This person just hollering out. Just... like we said, loud and wrong. Lord have mercy. Have a seat, Miss Mayford. Have a seat. Now, y'all may remember from my first roast video, I called out the man with the turtleneck and the chain, the gold chain. And I believe he had a bald head, didn't he? And didn't he have a beard? I think he had a lot going on. Child, he made it. He made it to the roast, okay? And then, y'all, come to find out his wife came on the scene and had something to say. And she said, not too much on my husband, because he's a good husband and he's a good father. And he ain't out here making side babies with side chicks. You know what I'm saying? So I need to address that. All right. I need to address this beautiful young lady who came to the defense of her husband. Okay. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing. I said what I said. But let me tell you then what I did come to say. We're gonna give him his points back. Okay, I'm gonna give him 1 point for being a good husband. She said he was a good husband. I'm gonna give him a point for being a good father. Okay, and I'm gonna give him a point for not out here in these streets making babies on the side and having other families. But sir, I'm gonna take 2 points. I'm taking 2, and I'm taking 1 because you ran, and I'm taking another point because you told it. You ran and told it. There's a point for each of that. See, you left these comment streets over here on RRG Avenue and went and told your wife on me. Deduction 2 points. Okay, for not being able to hold your own, sir. That leave you with 1. You on thin ice. Okay. These just jokes. Y'all calm down. Lord have mercy. Now here go another one to round off our roasting from Lil Scrappy's toxic relationship. This come from Miss Dynasty Marie Ife. She said, I'm sorry, but I need Auntie Regina more in my life every day. Just saying, at least 1 or 2 videos a day. I don't know what LBVS mean. I'm old. Somebody help me. You help me get through my days. You just don't know. Love you, Auntie. I love you too. I love all of y'all. That just make my day. I'm so happy to hear that y'all are getting something out of these videos and that you enjoy them. I have to say more of you all enjoy them than some of y'all who don't. But I think some of y'all just want to be seen. Some of y'all and some of y'all is confused about what my real motivations are. But for those of you who listen and have been listening for a while, this comes from a loving place, because I know that you all can do better. And that's men and women. I don't know why the men feel singled out, and now the side chicks is mad and they feel singled out. They feel singled out too. But just before you drop a comment and end up on one of my roasts, just say to yourself, would Auntie read this and say a hit dog would holler? Because some of y'all is showing your whole ASS out here. And I can see right through it. My wisdom, these glasses of wisdom, baby, can see right on through it. But y'all keep commenting. Keep letting us know what you think. Clap back if you're brave enough to do so, because from me, it's all love. It's always going to be all love. And listen, y'all, these just jokes now. If you feel like running and crying in your car, then you heard this in the wrong vein. Come on back, okay? Because ain't nobody deboed you over here.
Well, that brings us to the end of our messy marathon. We hope you enjoyed it, and we wish everyone a safe and Merry Christmas.
And Kwanzaa too, girl. Now, you tripping. Don't forget about Kwanzaa. Don't forget about Kwanzaa.